Welcome back to rTech. In today's video, we're going to check out the steam cleaner and how effective it is going to be for regular households. This one's a relatively cheaper option that I found on Amazon, and this one's called Nexlev Steam Cleaner SC01. Comes with 1-year warranty, and there's a scanning for registering the product. The whole thing looks like a small little picnic hot water flask or something, because that's how it's designed. Let's see what's written at the back, some of the features. Sorry about the light shining. So this is the SC01. It consumes about 1000 watts. Working time is about 12 plus or minus 3 minutes. So that's 300 ml actually, the capacity of the water. So that's going to run out in about 15 minutes. Steam flow is about 28 gallons per minute. That's a pressurized system, so 3 bar, 3 atmospheres, and it's also got a temperature of 105 degrees, which is for any steam. Like I mentioned, 300 ml water capacity. Hose length is about 1.2 meters, a little short to be honest. It's as long as a charging cable probably, and it weighs about 1.6 kgs. So some details about the product here. Let's see if there's anything else on the side. Yeah, some accessories included for cleaning. We'll look at it in detail inside. And let's see what else is this side. Yeah, it's also got some options to say it's easy to clean, no need of any chemicals because it's using steam. Now inside the box there is a user manual, and this is how it actually looks. There's obviously some sort of a review and get paid card inside, and then it's a nice protective cardboard sheet. And that's the equipment inside. So you can see that, let me just try and pick up the smaller things first. So there are some accessories over here. So I can see some sort of a cone here. Let me quickly get this open. Okay, some sort of an accessory. So that's one of them over here. There's also, I know this is some sort of a window squeegee. So basically it can clean windows and those balcony doors which are full glass, complete glass. It's got a rubber squeegee built in over here. Let's also see what else is there. Okay, some more stuff. Trying to make this as fast as possible. And I guess this is the measuring cup for the water, obviously, and you have some sort of a filter cloth stuck to this, some sort of a cloth filter. There is a brush which has got metal bristles. Strange. There is also a small nozzle like thing over here, and there is also another brush which is nylon, which is really good quality. Honestly, they look really solid, and I don't think they use any kind of screw mechanism. It's just, I think, some sort of a hexagon type of a fixture. We'll check that out. One more cover, and there is another brush, additional brush given, similar to the one I just showed you. So 2 of those. Okay, some sort of a funnel here, and there's some, okay, another accessory just like one of those vacuum cleaner accessories over here. So this one's again probably to scrub mattress, maybe something similar. Let's take this out. There's a funnel, obviously. I don't want to just, let's see what else is here. Okay, sorry about this. So there is some sort of a cap over here. I think this goes here. Probably fill water using the funnel, and then like I mentioned, it's a pressurized system, so there's going to be some atmospheric pressure built into this system, so it's going to generate more steam. So that's what it's going to be. So yeah, this looks like good quality. It's all brass stuff. Let's see if it's as smooth as it looks. Yeah, you probably fill water here and then close this thing. So I think that's the last accessory I see over there. Something else below too. Okay, this is the wire cord. 1.2 meters they say. So this is about, okay, as long as what they mention. And of course there is this whole steam vacuum tube. Let's see how this end point looks like. Okay, so this is basically your base, and you can attach different accessories to it. So once the steam is ready, you could probably put this in like this, and I'm guessing that's all you got to do here. Okay, that doesn't come off easily. There is a rubber ring over here, you can see, and it's a push mechanism. That's about it. I also see some threading over here. So let's try one of the other equipments which they've given, the accessory. Sorry. So this is another thing which they've given. So you can probably use this as well. I haven't even read the manual, honestly. So I haven't even seen this before. So yeah, you can fix this, and there seems to be another accessory which you can put over here. I think you can even use it this way as well. So you get a little bit of extension, or you can directly use it. These are dangerous items, so you'll have to just be careful because this is operating at over 100 degrees. So if you have children around you while operating this, I would suggest be really careful. Okay, closer look at the accessories. So this is a squeegee, right? This one right over here has a rubberized tip over here. So this is flexible. This is supposed to be a cloth ironer, and this one actually gets fixed into this one. If you just probably twist it here, you can see that it's got a set of teeth that it can actually hold on to. So all you need to do is just put this here, and this becomes one unit. So this is for cleaning your windows. So that's one of it. There's a measuring jar. This is the amount of water this thing actually holds. So that's the quantity this can actually hold. So they've given you an exact cup for that. There's some sort of a towel. There's no instruction as to where you can use that. Brushes, of course, there are 2 nylon brushes inside. There's one, they call this copper brush. I don't know what it is. There's a bent nozzle here, so that if you want to use it somewhere where you can't reach easily, that's available. There is a similar extension nozzle which they've given you. So this actually goes on top of this so that you can use it a little more easier in some places. So you can actually directly fix this to the accessories, but if you want an extension, they've given you that as well. Also, let's have a closer look at this. This is the handheld device for the steam release, and you can see it's got a lock here, which is really nice. And of course, there is a option here. So once you release the lock, you can see that you can use this trigger to release steam, and it's pretty solidly built. There's also a hose, of course. I don't know, I think there must be something inside protective to avoid the whole thing getting heated up. And of course, this device here is really tiny and small. So that's all we have. I mean, we'll just probably add some water in and we can get it started. And by the way, the wires are actually heavier than the whole device itself. Thankfully, they've given a normal sized cord, so this will fit into any regular 6 amp socket. So this will consume about 1000 watts, so it should be fine with any wall plug which you have. So remember that as well. So this has got really heavy wires. So the logo's over here, Nexlev, and there is a light here. So that will be operational once you plug it in. And of course, we've got to fill water before we start using this. Well, the cord is actually longer. If you notice that this is not a 1.2 meter long cord, which is a nice thing, to be honest, and it's really useful if you have a longer cord like this. I put in the funnel now, let's fill in the water. Okay, here we go. It's recommended to use distilled water or demineralized water because it's going to cause, obviously, salt stains. Okay, I think that should be fine. Now to just fill this whole thing up, let's see how easily it's going to happen. Yeah, pretty useful funnel. The trouble with these things is storing them. You have to keep all these accessories very carefully because you might end up losing one of these, and you can still use it without the funnel, but it's going to be messy, and they've recommended not to have anything. No water should be applied or washed. This device cannot be washed, so you have to be very careful. It's like a small pressure cooker. So this cap is actually protected, so this is a safety cap. Unless you put pressure on it, you can't open it. I think you can close it, but while opening, you'll have to put some pressure downwards. That's when it's going to get some grip for the thread to unlock. So it's very nice in that, and it's got a lot of safety mechanisms built in. So overheat protection, the short circuit protection, and if you use any kind of other liquids which might change the temperature of the steam, it has a cutoff for that as well. So I'm not sure this can be repaired if you use something else. So it's always better to use just plain water, distilled water preferably. If you have a lot of salt in your water, like bowels, please use demineralized water. Maybe reverse osmosis water is also fine. Okay, the cap is tight now. Okay, here goes nothing. Let's switch this on. I can see the light over there. And this takes about 2.5 minutes to preheat. The light doesn't flash. Of course, the camera makes it look like that. So it's a constant red light, and it takes about 2.5 minutes to heat up. Is there any sound? Well, there's a slight rumble. So let's wait for 2.5 minutes. So after preheating, you will see that the white light has actually now come on. And this process keeps repeating itself. Once the steam cools down inside, it will keep cooling down. So you will see that the light turns red again after some time. And then once it's preheated and it's ready to go, you'll see that the light is actually white, which is awesome. So here's the initial test. It's normal for water to spray out initially, so just be careful and just be wary that this water will spray out along with the first few sprays. So just make sure that it's pointing somewhere safe and that water droplets just go off. Once you do that, it's pretty much like any other device. You can just steam everything right from these baby carriers to say curtains or anything you have which you want to just quickly sanitize using steam. I'm not an expert in this, but I'm just trying different accessories. You can see this is the one for the window or the glass, and it works perfectly fine. In fact, it kind of was pretty incredible to see it work without any chemicals. Even the headlights get pretty clean with this, so if you have to try this out, try it at your own risk. The best part is it works fantastic with fabrics. I think it sanitizes your beds, your pillows very easily. The water droplets is a concern, but it's not a lot. It kind of goes off in a few seconds, so it's not like a lot of water falls on this. And this is especially useful feature for those fabric bed liners. And if you want to get your pillows clean, you can just probably do a round width on one side and then tilt it, and this should be good. I mean, this is good to go to quickly sanitize something in your room, and very handy device, and it's very easy to carry as well. So it's 1.5 kg, maybe around 2 kgs along with the water inside. So anyone can use it. Just be sure that no one's in front of that nozzle, because that's hot steam. So like I mentioned, if you have a fabric bed and you want to clean it nicely, this is a good accessory you have. This doubles up as the glass cleaner as well, but if you remove that brush which it has, then you can use it for glass. If not, you can use it for your beds. The best part is this is really handy to clean kids' toys and stuffed toys specifically, because you always wonder, how do you clean these things? You can't put it in the machine. You can do a dry wash, but this kind of really gets it to the next level. It's very easy to clean it or get it a quick round of sanitization, and it kind of kills probably most of the bacteria you've come to know about, because there's always some food particles or something else stuck on these things, and that steam does a great job. That nozzle brush, which is made of brass, I felt it very useful for cleaning gaps between tiles, and sometimes these black marks around tiles, which are usually there when you actually move into your apartment or whatever. They don't really go easily, but this brush along with that steam did a good job. I did notice that it works really fantastic. So be very careful with this nozzle though. This has got really sharp edges, but works good on tiles and these tile gaps in your bathrooms. Really useful for those things. So that's my experience using this little steam cleaner. It's the first time I'm using one, and this is an unscripted video, so I'm just showing you how it works. And all these water stains and all those things really come off very easily. I think there are much better uses. I haven't tried ironing clothes with this one because I know steam removes most of the creases. So even tried one of those experiments with this, with the glass accessory. Doesn't really work well, but yeah, it can take out some of those stubborn pieces, right? But not a perfect job, obviously. That's my short review on this little steamer. Hope you liked the video. In case you did, please hit the subscribe button, really helps. I'll leave links in the description. Thank you so much for watching.